Hello YouTube and my denture family. Welcome to Danielle's Denture Diaries. I am Danielle. So I am going to be talking, this is going to be the format of the video throughout this video. Based off of request, I was asked to show how I clean and take care of my dentures and to showcase what products I use. So obviously I don't want to get my watch wet and I would like to not get stuff in it. I don't yet know how to how to voice over videos, so we will be doing it this way. I'm just going to talk as I'm doing things, and I will edit out any parts of the video that are extra loud or ooh, that would not have been fun, or you know, shouldn't maybe be in the video. Sorry about that. Pardon my reach. So first things first, I do everything with my dentures in the bathroom. I feel more comfortable this way. I like being in a bathroom that's beautiful. So I have some red and black theme Paris stuff here. For anyone brand new to the denture world and lifestyle, I highly recommend that you make the bathroom a very comforting and soothing place. So I also recommend getting a lighter lamp to have, one that's a little bit dimmer, softer lighting. It just takes the edge off of seeing yourself in a mirror with no teeth. I know that having the dimmer romantic lighting was what helped me a lot. So that's a great first tip. So next, I'm going to be getting some of my denture product items out here. Have a nice soft towel to put your dentures down on. This is just, a lot of this is going to be a lot of your own personal preference and what you are most comfortable with, what makes sense to you. My denture bath. And of course the notorious denture bag. So I'm going to break out my fun bag here. Okay, so this is my spray bottle that I will be using. I got this off of Amazon with hair extensions. I think you're supposed to put some kind of an oil in it. I ended up never using it, and I will show you guys why I do use this. This just happened to be handy at the time, and I've been using it ever since. If you want to go to the dollar store, I highly recommend you get this based off of the products that I will be using today. If you don't need it, obviously you don't need it. My Poli Grip powder, anyone who's been watching my videos knows that I have changed my mind and I actually love using that. This is what I use the spray bottle for. This is for my bottom denture. For those of you who don't know, I have full top and bottom dentures. My top denture is a palate, no implants, and my bottom denture is a horseshoe denture shaped like this, no implants. So this is what I do use the spray bottle with. I did not intentionally match it, but I love it. Some scissors, also used for my Seabond wafers here as well. Denture brush. This one is specifically for my dentures only. I was using a brush that looked like this one, a smaller infant, baby, toddler brush. I ran into a situation where I had dropped my denture brush on the floor. This is what I had with me at the time, and I've been using it ever since. No complaints. So that's what's also changed in my routine as well. This denture now is only specifically to go in my mouth. The reason why you will have two separate brushes is because you have to use two separate pastes. One is geared specifically for your denture, and the other one is specifically to use in your mouth. One is safer to use in your mouth. The other one is safer to use on dentures and the materials because you don't want to get micro tears and scratches on it. So speaking of the pastes, I use Fresh and Bright for the dentures. And I use Sensodyne for my gums, tongue, mouth, roof of my mouth. Okay? So again, this is not necessarily used to put directly into your mouth. Obviously, ingesting it to a point is okay, but by no means don't put this directly into your mouth. And then this is what I recommend, especially for people who have had sensitive teeth, gums, mouth, whatever the case. I've always used Sensodyne since like middle school, and I actually like the taste of it. So don't fix a machine that's not broken. I've never changed with my pastes. These have always been very consistent. I also use Polident Smokers. The reason I use Smokers is because it has the most whitening in it. I myself am not a smoker, but even if you're not a smoker, I do recommend the Smokers tablets because those have the most whitening chemicals in it, while obviously being safe. Some other things that I use, but maybe not as often. I love having a tongue scraper. Ever since teeth were taken out of my head, I've paid more attention to what is left in my head, and what's left is my gums and my tongue. So I do like using this. I was obsessed with using it for a while. I've since learned my lesson that using it too often is actually not a very fun time. Cushion grip. Again, I haven't had to use this either in a long time. This I haven't used since I got my hard reline for my dentures back when they were sent out to the lab. So this isn't necessary today. I'll be putting that back in my bag. And another thing I like to use is Curoxin. This is what I would put on the Seabond wafers directly once it was on my denture. I would put this on the wafer wherever I had sores or exposed bone, bone shards, bone chips. This would make it sit directly on the spot and not move, and it would stay very comfortable for quite some time. About midday, depending on my pain tolerance, I would put this on another Seabond wafer and reapply it in the middle of the day, and then again at night, depending on where I was. Okay, I don't need this at the moment. Thankfully, I have no bone shards or chips to report at this time, so that will also be going back in the bag. Okay. So I've got everything I need. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. My voice is about to change. I'll be taking my denture out. So for anyone who does not want to hear any of that, I'm not going to be showing my mouth in this video or anything. When I step back, I'm going to be showing you what I'm doing, whether it's brushing my gums, mouth washing. You guys won't have to see it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to run water. Use your wrist. This is the most sensitive spot on your body, or one of them. So just like if you were to check the water temperature for a baby before putting them in a bath, you're going to want to check the temperature with your wrist. Okay? It feels like it's still too cold, so I'm going to warm it up more. You don't want the water too cold on your dentures. It makes your dentures harder and more brittle and more susceptible to breaking, especially if they were to slip out of your hands during this process. You don't want to soak your dentures anyways in cold water. You want to soak them in like a lukewarm. So now I'm kind of readjusting. I don't want my water hot. You should never be putting your denture in boiling or hot water. It should be warm or room temperature. If you put your dentures into hot water, you may accidentally morph or distort your dentures by accident. Remember, your dentures are, after all, plastic and porcelain, or acrylic, I mean, not porcelain. I know zirconia is one, but plastic will definitely mold with hot water. So my dentures my water is right about where I want it to be now. So I'm going to go ahead and take my dentures out. With the Seabond wafer, I'm peeling it out, and I'm going to throw that away. Took a little bit of effort. So I may edit that part out. I might not. We'll see. I want this to be more real time with you guys, so if you're watching this video while you're doing it with me, if I'm walking you through it, maybe I'll just leave that in. I'm just thinking out loud. A little bit of a rinse off. There's still some residue on it. That's okay. We're not brushing yet, so don't stress about it. We're going to loosen that up. I'm going to put my top denture in first because this is how it best fits. I'm going to take my bottom denture, reverse it, going the opposite way. Drop it into the bath. Put the water in last. Otherwise, I know I tend to make a bigger mess if I put the dentures in after the water. So do that. I'm going to grab one tablet. There we are. And I like to drop the denture in the back corner. And now it's foaming. So it's taking a bubble bath. We're going to leave that set. I'm going to be standing right here. If I were to have to walk away for any reason, I would completely shut this so that it's not so appealing looking to my son. Because he's not here right now, I'm going to be leaving this open. Alright, so while that's soaking, I'm going to brush my gums and my tongue. I like to use warm water on my gums. It's always been that way since I had to do saltwater rinses with my healing process. I still feel like it feels better to do it that way right now. So that's my own preference. I don't believe it really makes an actual difference if you want to use warm or cold water. You do want to keep in mind brushing the roof of your mouth with your soft toothbrush in order to get some of the remaining adhesive off. Okay? All right. So my denture bath is still soaking. You can kind of see the tablet rising right there. Still letting that soak. So while it's doing that, I'm going to be using my Oral-B mouthwash for sores, dentures. It does provide pain relief. There's still a little bit of that minty zing to it. As far as like not a burning sensation, but it's just like if you were to use Listerine. A little bit more of a moderate version of it, but it does the job. Again, I've never changed off of this. It has the concept, it kills bacteria, it has a mint taste, all of which I expect from a mouthwash, and the fact that this is good for mouth sores and we wear dentures, this just makes sense, so. Alright, so we have a clean mouth. At this point, your dentures should be pretty close to done soaking. If not, they are done already. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it over the sink, pretty far into the sink, because if I do drop them, I want them to be at a pretty safe distance. I'm going to lift the bath out. Put it right there. Dump. Rinse. Got it pretty clean. Put it back to room temperature. I'm going to put my denture bath like this. I want it to dry out and not get gross. So the easiest and most efficient way to dry a denture bath out when I'm about to go to work, I have to go back and make breakfast for my son. I'm about to go out to dinner, whatever it is, put the denture on its side like that. That's just the most efficient way to take care of your denture bath and make sure it doesn't build mold or residue or anything like that. And that way you know exactly where it is when you get home and it's time for bed. Same with the tray as well. I'm going to put it just like that. And my fiance to this day hasn't said anything about finding my denture bath. It doesn't change whether he'll use this bathroom or not. This is just what it is, and he knows that this is the most efficient thing for me to do. So next we will be brushing our dentures. I just put it on the one side. It's not necessary to do both. I like to do the top first. No reason in particular other than the fact that I want this one to be ready first. If I do have to run to the house, someone's knocking on my door, someone's about to call me, I want this one ready because this is the one that impacts my speech and the way I look the most. If I don't wear my bottom denture, it's not the end of the world. People don't typically notice all that much. So, clean it good. Small circles, just like you would if these teeth were in your head. Make sure you get the inside of your denture as well, so the roof of your mouth here. Using the same bubbles that are already in there, I'm going to use the smaller end to get deep into the trough. I'm also going to get that space right here where the frenulum goes, okay? So we're going to clean that out. Get that out of there. If you do find that there's food particles or seasoning on the inside of your teeth where your teeth connect to the plastic gum or the acrylic, that's okay. Go to your dentist, see if they can get it out. If not, my dentist had told me that it's going to happen. Like most man-made things, woman-made things, people-made things. They're not perfect, and they're not meant to last you forever. They're meant to last you about 5 to 8 years, I believe. So one more thing of toothpaste, or denture paste. You do still have to replace them, but as long as you keep up with the cleaning and sanitation of your dentures, it's not the end of the world. Obviously, don't let food build up in it. That would be gross. But, you know, what can you do? So, same thing. Make sure you're getting the inside of them teeth, outside of those teeth. I have a pretty wide trough on my bottom on the sides, so I can get in there very easy. And I can get into the front part where it's smaller using the smaller end of the brush. Okay. Now for anyone who has a soft reline right now, a temporary reline, you're going to have 2 layers noticeable between the acrylic itself or the plastic and the soft reline. You want to make sure you're cleaning the edge of that so that if any food did try to get in there, you cleaned it. So I don't currently have a soft reline in mine, but just so that you're aware, depending on where you're at with your dentures, make sure you get that cleaned as well. Soaking your dentures will also be beneficial to taking care of that too. Alright, so that's the cleaning portion side of things. Now we're going to move on to getting these fangs ready to be installed. I'm going to clean up a little bit as I go. I don't want to make a bigger headache for myself later. So, again, I am going to be doing the top denture first. Because as I had said, I do want to be ready in case if someone calls me, someone comes to my house. I want to make sure that my denture is damp. Okay, the reason being, powder needs dampness in order to stick. It's going to do its job of setting, and then it's going to stick to the roof of your mouth. So how I've been doing it is I tap it gently on the denture itself. I seem to feel like I have the most control when I do that. of what's coming out and how much. Make sure you get it on the sides, down the roof, in the trough. Best advice ever that I saw in a comment was gently do it and then sift it as though it were baking powder in a baking pan. Not that I ever use it. I'm not the best cook. I like to cook, but please don't ask me to make you a 7-course meal. All right, so this is actually ready to go now. So quick and easy, right? Pop it in. Right now I'm holding it in place with my thumbs, so that's why I'm not talking. Let her about a minute. And I can already feel that now, so. Someone calls me, someone rings my doorbell, knocks, Amazon. I can go answer the door pretty comfortably. My face isn't on yet. I'm not wearing makeup yet. So, not the most comfortable, but you know what? This is where we're at today so far. All right, cleaning as I go. I'm going to drop that in my denture bag. It's on the floor right next to my feet. So as I go and I'm using things, I'm just dropping it in. And then my trash can is right under the sink right here. So I have the door open in case if I need to throw something away real fast. For this part, however, I am going to be showing you how I cut my Seabond wafer. Drop it in the denture bag. Because I want you guys to see how I do it. Otherwise, typically I would go over the trash can and then cut. But I want you guys to see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to just cut right here. Not the biggest mess, it's fine. So try not to get this wet yet. Once this is wet, it sticks because it has adhesive material in the pink side of this. And then on the white side, that's going to be facing upward towards you. And this is the side that's going to actually be on your bottom denture. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to cut off the back ends. My denture is shorter than these are made to be. They make these fairly large in order to fit a bigger number of people. You need to trim it in order to make sure it fits your denture. So now if I take my bottom denture, pink side down, it fits pretty well. Okay, I haven't put it on yet. I'm just making sure it fits. I don't want this to fit perfectly because the more wafer that's on it, the more that I get cushion between my gums and the acrylic. Okay, so even though I am fully healed, this feels a lot nicer than just acrylic on gum. Okay, so I don't mind that it's going to be overlapping personally. If you want to be more tedious, you can. For my sake, when I'm getting ready for work, I want to trim the two edges and then I'm done. So I'm going to take my white or my pink water bottle. It says not to get it too wet. I actually prefer to get it more damp. It's more pliable that way. I'm going to take my fingernail, push it into the middle right there. Okay, now I'm going to take my other thumb and I'm going to slide it right through the side there. Again, it's not going to be perfect. I don't need it to be perfect. Okay, now I'm going to do the other side. Kind of guide it at the end if you have to make sure it does go actually into your denture. And then put it through. So even though I didn't trim a whole lot off, there's not really a whole lot hanging off my denture at this point. And just like that, it's ready to go on. And now I will bite down to seal everything together and get the bite properly secured. Clean up as I do that. All right, so at this point, my dentures are pretty well set in my mouth. The last things that I would do is I would just finish clearing off my remaining bathroom surface, get anything taken down that doesn't need to be out. Not only because I don't want my child to be getting into my denture items, but also because if I do have people over, it's not necessarily the biggest impactful thing I want to showcase is, hey, look at all my denture stuff. I still want them to feel comfortable and like they can come into the bathroom and use the space as they see fit, without feeling like it's all cluttered and, oh, if I touch anything, it's going to throw off their routine or anything. No, you're not throwing off my routine. I'm fine. So before I leave at this point, or finish getting ready, or make breakfast, is I will grab a mint. So whether it's one of my mints that I like to keep inside my purse, I love having Altoids because I can't chew gum, not with dentures. I don't know if anyone out there can chew gum. Maybe you use a certain brand or something, but they just stick way too much to my dentures, and they've done it every time. So I've since decided that going forward, I will not be chewing gum because it's too much of a hassle to clean it off and I can feel it through the day. Having these mints, they're really small, so if you're still healing, they're not the worst thing to have. They're really tiny. And the fact that they're more of just a little chalky thing is way better than having something that sticks all over the place and makes a mess. I like to keep mints in my bathroom, not just for guests, but also for myself. They're from the dollar store, so it's pretty easy to keep up with. These are harder to have once you got your extractions and you're still new to healing because these are quite bigger. Once you're all healed, I absolutely recommend having these. So I like to have that in my bathroom as well. All right. With that being said, and having now taken 30 minutes up in a video, that is all I have for you guys today. If there's anything else that you would like for me to show you and explain, please by all means leave a comment and let me know. If you like videos like this one, give us a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos from me in the future, go ahead and subscribe, and I will talk to you later. Bye, guys.